It happened a few nights ago, and even now I'm not sure whether I narrowly avoided something terrible or simply let my imagination get the best of me. I live on the edge of a large city. The area is quiet, surrounded by trees, small parks, and a narrow creek that runs alongside a walking path. Most nights after work, I take the bus home from the train station, but if I miss it, I usually walk. It's about 20 minutes, and I've done it countless times without any problems. That night, I missed the bus by only a minute or two. Instead of waiting another half hour, I started the walk home. At first, everything felt normal. The streets were nearly empty. A cool breeze moved through the trees, and the city noise faded behind me with every step. I remember looking up at the sky and being surprised by how many stars were visible. The route eventually led me onto a darker path that followed the creek. There were no streetlights there, just shadows and the faint sound of running water. I wasn't worried. I'd walked that path dozens of times before. A few minutes later, I approached a small, grassy area with a bench and a wooden table. It was a popular spot during the day, and even late at night, it wasn't unusual to see someone sitting there. That night, there was a man on the bench. His back was facing me. He appeared to be talking on his phone. I paid almost no attention to him and continued walking. Then as I passed behind him, I heard a single sentence. "Someone just walked by me, they're heading your way." The moment I heard those words, every muscle in my body tightened. Maybe he wasn't talking about me. Maybe he was. But at nearly 11 at night, on a dark path with almost nobody around, it certainly felt like he was. I kept moving, trying not to look nervous. My heart was suddenly pounding. I pulled out my phone and pretended to call a family member. As the phone rang, I rounded the next corner. That's when I saw another person standing ahead. They were holding a phone to their ear. The instant they noticed me, they stepped behind a parked vehicle and disappeared from sight. I stopped breathing for a second. A cold wave rushed through my entire body. At that point, the sentence from the man on the bench replayed in my head. "Someone just walked by me, they're heading your way." I quickly started speaking out loud as if someone had answered my call. "Yeah, I'm almost home." I paused. "No, don't worry, I'll be there in 5 minutes." I wanted anyone nearby to think people were waiting for me. I continued walking without turning around. Every instinct told me not to stop, not to look back. Just keep moving. Finally, my family member actually answered. I explained that I felt uncomfortable and asked them to stay on the line while I walked the rest of the way home. The entire time, I expected footsteps behind me, but none came. No one followed me. No one approached me. Nothing happened. A few minutes later, I made it inside my apartment building and locked the door behind me, safe, at least physically. The next day, I told a few friends about what happened. I expected them to laugh and tell me I was overreacting. Instead, they both agreed that the situation sounded extremely unsettling. And that's the part that still bothers me. Maybe those two people were completely harmless. Maybe the conversation had nothing to do with me. Maybe everything was a coincidence. But late at night, on an empty path, hearing a stranger tell someone that a person is heading your way right before spotting another individual waiting ahead, it doesn't feel like a coincidence. And sometimes the scariest part isn't knowing what happened. It's never finding out what almost did. And sometimes the scariest part isn't knowing what happened. It's never finding out what almost did. The story ends here. But some mysteries never truly end. Good night, and I'll see you in the next story.